We're here with Stratton Brown. I met Stratton like 2 years ago with Steve Trang, and that's how we've known each other. It's been, I think, close to 2 years now that I met with Stratton. So it's kind of interesting to see what trajectory people take over time and what type of businesses they build around themselves in the real estate space. Because a lot of people, once they get real estate money, they actually can transition into do things they actually want to do. So we'll kind of cover that a little bit today. But Stratton, tell us a little bit about what you did. I know you're probably in your 30s, right?
No, I'm 26.
You're 26?
Yeah.
Wow. I thought you were in your 30s, man. You're younger than me. I'm 29. That's crazy. I thought you were like a little bit over, like 31, 32. That's crazy. I didn't even know that. That's crazy. So tell us a little about what you did in the past, how long you've been an entrepreneur. Let's kind of start off your story.
So my name's Stratton Brown. What I did before entrepreneurship, I played college football, tried out for the Seahawks. Nothing really worked out with the Seahawks. And then eventually I came home when I was going to go to the NFL in college, right? I was like, all right, I'm partying my ass off. I like to party. So I need to learn how to invest my money like that, like word for word. Like you got to protect yourself from yourself is all I was thinking. Right. Mm-hmm. And so it was okay. I started reading like Dave Ramsey books, Grant Cardone, listening to Bigger Pockets podcasts, and like really just taking it as much as possible. I was like, all right, because for me, my mindset at the time was like, I want to live the type of lifestyle that I can in the NFL. There's only 1,000 different people in the world who can live this lifestyle. I was like, but in order to do that, you need to be able to actually know how to invest your money. So afterwards, you're fine. And you're not just going through and blowing through hundreds of thousands to millions of dollars every year. Because I knew a dude who was on the Chiefs and one of his teammates blew $80,000 in a year just partying. Like now it's like his signing bonus or whatever. So I was like, okay. So I'm reading up all these books. I go to Seattle. It doesn't really work out. I come home. I start going to like RIAs and everything else. I meet a guy who at a point in time was like, hey, yeah. He said like 3 years before this, I was driving a tractor for $20,000 a year. Now I make $200,000 a month. I was like, oh, wow, that's pretty cool. He's like, yeah, and I want to buy a jet too. Oh, okay. I don't really think much of it. I start like a home inspection business, do that. It sucks ass. And then after that, I go and I like hit him up because I did like one mock home inspection and I was afraid I was going to get bit by a snake in like a crawl space. I was like, bro, fuck all this. And so I call him. I'm like, what do you do again, man? He was like, all right, go download this app called Property Radar and then go knock all the pre-foreclosures. And so I did that. And at the point in time, I had a pregnant girlfriend. She thought I was cheating on her because I was knocking doors from like dusk till dawn, right? Just trying to like get a deal or whatever and understand that whole concept. Eventually, I ended up working for him. We built out like an in-house call center of 8 people. It was cool at a time. Then it turned into an absolute shit show. Did that, was running a lot of the marketing and sales stuff, and then eventually broke off on my own, proceeded to go broke again. And then eventually I closed another deal. Well, I closed a deal after, what was that, like close to like 9 months. I closed a $30K deal, could finally stop having to donate blood and sell all my shit just to pay my rent and marketing money. And then it took off from there. And that's when I left him is when I truly got in my entrepreneurship journey. That was 3 or 4 years ago. 4 years ago.
I love that story, man. That's dope. He says to donate blood. Plasma?
Bro, plasma. Like if you guys are real, I have at a point in time, me and my son were almost homeless. And I had to ask my mom for $20 to go. My son was with his mom down in Bakersfield. I had to drive down there. I called my mom for $20 to get there. My car runs out of gas when I get there, and I had to call my mom for another $20 to get home. And then the next day I made 30 grand. But I have people telling me they can't spend like $100 to get like PropStream or HiveMind or anything. Right. And I'm like, you don't even like, I sold everything I had just so I could get marketing money. And then you're saying like, oh, well, I don't know how to make money. I don't have an extra $100. It's like, bro, like, then you ain't about it. Like, you're not really dedicated to like being successful in this shit no matter what. Because like $100 is not a lot of money, especially with inflation now. Like, it's just not that much.
So I resonate with that story because I still got the tracks in my arm because I donated plasma for 2 years.
Yeah.
Gangster.
I donated plasma and I'm like, man, I was like, and I was funny though, because I talked to my brother about this too, because when he started his business, he was doing the same thing. And I'm like, man, like this is real life. So it really resonated with me that you did that stuff. Cause like not only Like if you ain't ready to sell piece of your internal your blood, like you ain't doing business right.
Bro, I had to wake up at like 6 a.m. too to beat all the homeless people up there too. So I could like not have to wait in line forever because all those homeless people would be in line early. And then I'd have to wait in line forever, and then I wouldn't be able to go like door knock or do something else in the day.
Man, that is awesome. Man, that's a really awesome story, man. I think a lot of people they think they're struggling, but there's always people that have struggled worse, and they never really see how bad it can be.
Oh yeah, bro. And like we live in America, so it could be so much worse if I wasn't in America.
Yeah, it could be so much worse. So when did you said you started entrepreneurship like 23, 24?
Yeah, 23, 24, yeah.
23, 24. So you're 26 now, so you're 3-4 years in. So this is my 4th year. Anthony's been an entrepreneur for 10 years now. So it's kind of crazy what can happen in a short amount of time, especially like in the real estate business, because you can accelerate faster than you normally could in a lot of other businesses.
Yeah. I think wholesaling is one of the best ways to generate really large sums of money without a whole lot of business acumen. Like you don't need to have a ton of background. You don't need to be techie. Like you could legitimately go down old school wise, go down to the courthouse, get some records, and then drive around and go knock on their doors and then write everything down on a piece of paper. And you could still be successful. It may be a little bit tattered, but you could do it.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you said, we talked a little bit before this, but you said you're operating 4 businesses now. Can you kind of cover what those 4 businesses are, what niches, what space?
So we have our Clockwork Media company. That's our social media company. We have our wholesale company. And then we have our Call Magician stuff. And then we have my own like education company.
What is that? You said it's Clockwork Media?
Yeah.
What does that company do?
So that is helping other entrepreneurs scale their social media, right? The entrepreneur in you kicks in. I'm like, okay, well, I built all these systems, hired all these editors. So like, okay, I have it completely laid out of, okay, I have an editor, thumbnail creator, and they all manage my YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, and they do everything. All I do is record podcasts. I go cut it up, edit it, make it look all nice, post it all of our platforms, write all the copy, and make sure the YouTube looks good. So I was like, okay, well, this seems like a pretty good package. Like I had to take a while to learn this. And so we started selling those in packages too, just to different clients.
That's pretty cool. I have seen some of your content. It's really clean. So you're offering that as a service?
Yeah, we offer that.
How long have you been doing that?
And thank you. 4 months, like 4 months of actually like, okay, yeah, I think I could make this an actual business. But then you run into the thing of you don't want to lose too much focus, right? I mean, 4 business is cool and all to say, but then your attention span is divided between 4 different things, right? So that makes hiring on a good team even better. But then now I'm training like 4 different people to do 4 different things at all these same times, hiring 4 different people and whatever we're actually trying to accomplish.
I think that's probably the most important thing is not spreading yourself too thin. And I know you've done some of that with the use of virtual assistants. I noticed that I didn't do like exceptionally well in my real estate company until last year as my full year in real estate. But I have a vehicle dealership. So I completely like got myself out of that. I still have the property, but I haven't been working there. And then I also had a construction company, and we would do large scale commercial roofing projects. And like on shopping centers and all that, industrial warehouses. And I eliminated that from my portfolio as well, man. So now, since I focused only on real estate, I think that's when things really started to change. Because like you said, you can really laser focus. So do you offer VA services as a company, or is that just something that you do in-house for your own businesses and your own brands?
Yeah, so Call Magicians is our staffing and VA company. We offer.
I've heard of Call Magicians. Are you publicly advertising that?
We don't do any. We grew it to 7 figures with 0 advertising.
Wow. Yeah, because I've heard of it more than once. It's pretty well known, actually. Yeah.
Thanks, bro. That makes me feel good.
Hell yeah. That's dope. How'd you put that together, and how does that work? What's the cost? What kind of services do you offer?
We leave the costs out. It's all consultative based. But as far as the way it started, at a point in time, I don't know if you met the dude, Daniel, but I met a dude at the Steve Train conference, and I met him Went to a Rafael Vargas conference with him. Then I went to like his event he put on called Whole Scaling. And then I was like, okay. He's like, yeah, bro, I got cold callers. So I was like, hell yeah. Like, you got cold callers. I need cold callers. I went through one company. They weren't really servicing me. I had like 8 callers with them. I go to him. I was like, tested out one of his callers. I was like, all right, I'm going all in with you. And I sent him, he's like, okay, you just got to pay me up front. So I sent him like $6,000. I was like, okay, deal. Like, all right, whatever. Here's the money. A month goes by. I got 1 lead, 0 KPIs, 0 reporting, access to nothing. This dude fucking walked off with all my cash. Like, just disappeared. I was like, come on. And so after that, and I had other people I was going to JV with too. So I had to cover their marketing. I was like, all right, and this is like kind of close to when COVID hits. So I was like, all right, I got to write a check for them and write a check for myself. I take off the loss. I go to another company and they couldn't service me. I had like 8 people. Like, I get to 4. I'm like, okay, good. Give me 4 more. And then the quality just deteriorated. So at a point in time, I was like, man, fuck it. I'll just do it myself. So I bring everything back internally. Excuse me. And then all of a sudden, I had people hit me up for VAs because most of my business was only ran with VAs anyways. And then I was like, yeah, I guess I'll like start this up and, like let it cover some bills. And then it kind of turned into a behemoth. So yeah, that's.
So it's funny. It's funny you say that though, because we started HiveMind based off our own necessity, because we're like, man, CRM sucks. We need something better, and we need something that we can control. And then like, okay, now we can make this into a business. And it was the same avenue, because like, man, it was rough for the same reasons. Like, you needed something better and something you can control and manipulate on your own behalf. So that's
exactly
awesome.
That's like the way most things start. I mean, I try and listen to a lot of entrepreneurship podcasts, and besides the real estate ones, right, like where dudes are doing like different stuff, most of it's like out of necessity. Like, oh man, all right, I gotta do this. Like, I'm having this problem consistently. I know other people gotta have this problem.
Yeah, that's it. So tell me how you said you have 4 companies and they're all ran by your virtual team. How big is your team now between all your employees? How many employees do you have?
We're close to like 150. We quit taking on clients from October onward, and now we're taking on clients again. Right? You guys know what it's like. You got to slow down, dial in all the ops, and then keep on going again, because you don't want to do a disservice to the new people who come on, let everything fall apart. But that's kind of what we do, and then they're all mixed and mangled together. We try and keep them in just like separate departments.
Oh, that's awesome, man. So let's kind of jump into leadership. So what is a thing of leadership that you can pass on? Because 150 employees, I've never personally managed 150 employees. I don't know if Anthony's got to that stage, but what's the key to managing over 100 employees?
Love them.
Well, I like that a lot.
So I always tell all of our people, because I don't really know anyone who gets hired on anymore or anything like that, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's legitimately impossible for me to know them and talk to them intimately. And so I talk to like our department heads and our upper managers. So we have probably like 6 or 7 of them. And I love them to death. And I help them grow, and I give them whatever they need to be prosperous. And one of our core values is Care 360. And I let everyone know, like, hey, the more we love them, the harder we can be on them. And that's that. Like, as long as you're real with them, you talk to them, you treat them like an adult, you're going to be fine. But you really just got to care about them and love them. That's my biggest thing, right? Because I'm intense, right? But they know I care about them. So if they know I care about them, I can be intense and like show them, like, hey, no, this is the way we do it. Like, we only strive for excellence, and that's another core value in our company. Like, why are we doing it this way? Like, this doesn't line up with our core values. And then it's easier to lead them that way. That's why core values for me got really big, just because it's easy when it's 2 of you, because you 2 both have your own vibe. Then when you get 50 of you, you're like, Jesus Christ, why the fuck are you doing this shit, dude? Like what? Who does this shit? Right? And you're like sitting there like thinking that, and like all this, like, oh wow, that's why you have core values, because it creates a culture inside of your company. Like then you have that culture of people always trying to do stuff the right way, your way. And that I'd say core values. And then you gotta love your people a lot, dude. Let them know you care about them, because if they don't, there's another cog in the machine. Then they're just gonna fall off. They're gonna drift away. They're gonna talk shit. You're gonna have a nutrition problem, and then that's no fun.
That's I think that, man, core values and loving them, man. A lot of people. I literally had this conversation yesterday. A lot of people think that leadership and being the boss is you have to put your finger on them and make sure they're micromanaging them, and it comes with a lot of malice, and you have to put pressure on them. But I think when you lead with love, you can really grow a big business because they actually love what they do. They love where they work. You provide a good environment. There's a healthy environment all around just for people to prosper. You know.
100%. And I wasn't on my phone. I was writing down like a point I remembered. We will never micromanage. I am like the hands off. Like, all right, here's what I need. Go figure it out. Like, one thing that'll help a lot of you guys out is I frame our company as a startup. I'm hiring you because I know you're really competent at what you do, and I need you to build something for me. This is what I need it to look like. Go ahead and do it. Like, because like I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Like, if I don't know what I'm doing, I'm hiring you because you have prior experience. These are our core values. This is what I needed to do. This is what I need it to look like. We're a startup. Go get it done in 2 weeks. I don't care how you do it. You're smart. Like, I have faith in you, right? And then they have that buy-in in the company now to where when they don't ever want to leave because it's their company now. Like, they've built it, right? Then you get all that buy-in into your company.
Yeah, I feel like that's where we are right there, man. We do have a lot of buy-in. Like a lot of the people that came into HiveMind early, we told them, hey, we're in beta, right? This is a startup, and we would like you to bring your own energy. That's why it's called the HiveMind. Like, we want people to bring their intelligence and whatever they can bring to the table to help us build this thing out. And so the leaders that came on early, I mean, now they're still in it, and they're in it to win it. Yeah, because they've been helping us build it, the culture, everything. Yeah. And I kind of really felt what you said about like, you got to love them hard enough so you can be hard on them when you need to be.
Yeah.
Right. So it's different. It's like disciplining your child. Like, you love them so much that it's okay for you to be hard on them, when you need to. That way you can say, hey, like, I've never not showed you love. So in this one instance, we need to do a massive correction here. And, thankfully we haven't had to have too many of those conversations in HiveMind with our team, but I love that, man. I love what you said about building the culture and loving your people. And that's something that we're really heavy on. If you do have to beat somebody up too much or try to Steve Jobs them into doing their job, it's just like, we're probably just not a good fit anyway.
Right. Then you're not it's not a culture fit. They probably just aren't fitting in. They don't like their job. Like, if you were feeling you have to Steve Jobs somebody, like, bro, it's probably not it. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you got to completely cuss a dude out and like do it multiple times, and like obviously try and never cuss at a grown man, grown woman. Right. But if it ever reaches that point, bro, they should have fired themselves by going through your culture and like knowing they're just not a good fit.
Yeah, we're pretty quick to exit people. If they're not a good fit one time, there's no warning shots. It's like, yeah, they're just gone. Just how it has to be.
One thing I love about this is that when you have culture and you have core values, people that don't fit in, they exit themselves. They depart.
Exactly. That's why I like it, right? Because they know it doesn't make sense. But we don't even pay people through training. Like, if someone comes in, they don't make it through training, they don't get paid. And then a lot of people will just leave day 3 because they know they don't fit.
Wow, that's strong.
That's very strong. Wow, that's crazy, man. So, wow. And you said how long you been? You said you started Call Magicians like less than 2 years ago.
Yeah. When I bet you we're 18 months right now.
Oh, 18 months. Wow. That's and you hit 7 figures already. Congratulations, man.
Yeah, we hit 7 figures last year. Oh no, we a little bit more than 18 months.
Awesome, man. I think if I want to say congratulations, because you need that's a win, bro. That's a big win. And us as entrepreneurs take that lightly. Like, we're trying to do 10 million, but like 1 million is nothing. That's my first step, But congratulations. If no one told you congratulations. That is a big feat, and it's a big feat to even lead 100 people. So congratulations on that too, man. I think a lot of people aspire to do things, but I think they can't get to that level. And you did it quick. Up to 100 employees. So I don't know if we'll ever get to 100 employees, but we'll see.
I would tell you, I mean, the bragging about the employee amount is never a good thing, right? Because I mean, when you're like us, like it's an agency thing, right? The ideal company is me. I can make $1 billion by myself, and I only have to work an hour a day. You know what I'm saying? Like,
so that model is the podcasting model. So if you follow Joe Rogan, he has it's him and a producer, and that's it.
Right. I mean, he has him, Jamie, and a couple other people. But like, I think it's crazy. Like, I've quit trying to like brag about the number of employees we have, right? Because if we have I met a dude who makes over $100 million a year. His company is valued at $800 million, and he has 40 employees.
40 employees.
40 employees.
What does he do?
E-commerce.
E-commerce. Okay.
Yeah, he does e-commerce, right? But like the number of employees doesn't matter. I care about really net profit.
Yeah.
Like that's really what resonates, right? And that's why some people love getting into real estate, because you can have a lot of a relatively large amount of net profit on your own for a while.
Yeah. So I like the real estate game because you can make a lot of money quick, and it kind of gives you opportunity to create your own passion. Yeah. And a lot of people don't ever actually get in that space of creating their own passion just because they don't have the money to do so. So let's talk about what are some aspirations and stuff you're passionate about that you wanting to start. And for side note, I'll go first. For me, I didn't think I would like podcasting because I was afraid of speaking. But after doing it for so long, I actually enjoy podcasting and having conversations. So it's something I've grown to love. That it's a passion of mine to produce content on the podcast side.
Oh, I do love I love podcasting. I love talking to people. I love the podcast just for the fact I can go back and in 10 years, I can see where I came from and like reflect on those thoughts. And I can bring people along and they can just learn all my lessons for free. I mean, I want to make $500 million. That's an aspiration.
So plug the podcast. What's your podcast called? How many episodes in are you?
The Winning Move podcast. I don't even know how many episodes I'm in. I do like 2 or 3 a week.
Awesome. So we're launching 5 a week right now, and we just hit episode 90, and we launched September.
So that's so dope. I mean, I don't have the consistency of that, right? And at the beginning of the year, I was like, okay, bro, like we got to stick to at least 2 to 3 a week. And so I'll go like a solo one, a guest one, and then I bring on my friend like Michael Zuber, and like we talk about like the financial market for the week. Yeah, or the 3 that I'll do every week.
So, that's interesting, man. So, passion. So, has podcasting grown to a passion for you? Or is it just still a fun little project?
It's a fun little project. Also, I mean, my family's a passion. I mean, helping inner city kids is a passion. I'd say like being able to develop programs to where we had a point in time we started a nonprofit, and then we got so busy that it just didn't make sense, and we'll start it over again. But it was the Lost Families Foundation, to where we were going to go through and help any kids whose parents were addicted to drugs or anything else, and kind of step in and be their family for them. So if they needed to go to school, needed to go to sports practice, we'd pay for it, take them there, make sure they had food. Because like think about all the kids whose parents go into rehab and they're a single parent. Then what? Right. And like a lot of kids don't even talk about it, and then just kind of like take care of themselves. So that I'd say would be a passion for me. And then traveling the world, spending time with my family.
So philanthropy. A lot of people. This is I don't even know where this is from, but a lot of people like to be philanthropists, but they pour from a half-empty cup. And a lot of people, you have to put yourself first, that way you have a full cup to provide for other people the way you need to. Because if you don't put yourself first, you can never fulfill what your true goal is. Philanthropy side. Ugh, got tongue twisted there. So I think it's important to put yourself first and make sure you get to where you can take care of your family, your goals, and all that stuff, and then you can kind of put other people first at that point. Once you get yourself straight up.
Yeah, bro. Out. And like we still donate. I donate 10% of all my income to different nonprofits and everything else. That's just, I believe in like the karma thing, and it always comes back, right? If you donate 10%, you're gonna get it back like 1,000-fold, is my personal belief. But yeah, I've never thought about it that way, but a lot of people do need to take care of themselves a lot more first before they do start giving. But I would push back and say when I was dead broke and like selling everything I had, I'd still give away 10%. And it makes it a lot easier now.
Wow. I think it's just building up your karma, building up your giving
muscle. Yeah, you got to build up that giving muscle.
I was going to say that there's a saying, it's something like, if you can't give 10 cents out of every dollar, then you're definitely not going to be able to give 100,000 out of $1 million. So
right,
yeah,
you can.
I remember even struggling to our lowest of our low, we still kept giving and giving and giving and helping people. And still to this day, you know, we give so much. And sometimes I'm looking at the radar, like, are we still okay? We're giving a little too much, but like you said, it always seems to come back, man. And one thing I can say is that all of the people around me are quitting their job. You know, first it was my sister, then my wife, now my mom. I promised my mom last year was her last year to work. Elizabeth Falcone just quit her job. So it's like all the people around me are quitting their job. So I feel like something's still going right.
I love it, dude. That's awesome to say.
Yeah, seeing the people around you win. And that's one of our big aspirations for Hive Mind is we want to see everybody doing deals. So sometimes I'll help somebody negotiate a deal or bring a buyer. And I could easily like involve myself in the deal and say, hey, I'm going to get 30% or 50% or whatever. But a lot of times I just push it off and just say, no, just keep that, you know, because I have to see the people around me grow. You know, you want to see them get wins and get deals, but I want to see growth. I want to see like measurable growth. So that way, you know, we have 10,000 rich homies. So whenever we need something, it's right around in our immediate circle of influence. So that's our main goal right now.
Exactly.
So there was a tweet I saw the other day, and is that people that always give are always earn more money to give to more people, and the people that always want and take are always asking to take more.
I saw something like that recently. Maybe that's what you sent me. It said that if you notice the people that always give are always in a position to give, and the people that are trying to take are always in a position of need. Like, that's interesting. I have seen that my whole life. The same people always lack, and the same people that give always have. Weird.
Well, for me, I posted about this the other day, like with momentum. Whenever I'm lacking momentum or I'm in a rut, I will go give away more because it automatically switches my mindset into a place of abundance. Mm-hmm. Right. And that's where you're really coming from when you're giving, is a place of abundance. Knowing that whatever you believe in is going to take care of you anyways, and it's going to come back tenfold, and you're going to help out some other people.
More is on the way.
Right. More is on the way anyways.
Love that philosophy. I was listening to, I think it was Tom Bilyeu on his podcast, and he had like a Japanese like billionaire on there or something. And he said that like his philosophy is that, I guess his mentor taught him, like when he started hanging around like billionaire mentors, they said that he always thanks the money when it comes in. Actually, like thank the money itself, like that energy of money, to say thank you as it comes in. That's
a good point.
And then to also say thank you every time you spend. So you don't ever have that feeling of lack, like I'm losing money or money's going away and you feel lack. It's just you thank it on the way in and you thank it on the way out. And I've never heard that before until like 30 days ago. And I've been trying to like stay conscientious of that and remember that if it's coming in or going away, to always be grateful.
Bro, I'm writing that down. I love that shit. Like, that's a really good point.
Never heard that before, dude. But I'm like, that's amazing. That's like the spirituality of money. And I really clinged onto that. I was like, that's amazing. Never heard anybody say that.
We used to always, and we somewhat, because like I'm not religious whatsoever, but I'd always thank the universe for food, especially like I guess we fell out of it last year because like I've been in more of a place of abundance, but I'd always thank the universe for food because me and my son only ate bananas and rice for months, right? And so I was like, oh my God, now we can really eat whatever we want within reason. I'm not a billionaire or anything, but I remember always like, man, thank you so much for the food. Thank you so, and I'd never been in that place in time before. Right? So like, oh wow, are we gonna eat today? What are we gonna eat today? Well, we have enough money to where we can go buy more bananas at Target because they're on sale for 15 cents a pop. Right?
That's powerful, dude. Yeah. Been there. I one thing that I've been like on this carnivore kick for like about 4 years probably. Oh. And I probably made, not gonna lie, maybe like 1,000 ribeyes in the last 4 years. And every now and then, like you get the perfect cut and you cook it just perfectly. And I take a bite, dude, and I'm like, there has to be a God. Some entity wanted me to have this amazing experience, you know, and then I just think like, man, like a lot of people on the planet don't get to have this particular experience. So I just like appreciate it so deeply, man, like so deeply when I'm eating the perfect meal. And I'm like, man, I wish I could just share this with the whole world. Like I wish I could give the whole world this one meal. Like if I could, it's kind of like a big dream of mine is to kind of feed the world. And I think we're on the right track.
All right, dude. So what's the best way to cook a ribeye?
So you got to toast the outside immediately as quickly as possible. And that locks in the moisture. And then also you don't want to overcook it. So you cook the inside. So what I've been getting and perfecting is cooking them raw. Frozen. So you cook them at a very high temp while they're frozen. And then, so you can get a perfect like toast on the outside. So where it's kind of crispy when you bite into it. And then the inside's so tender and perfect. And I do like mine a little bit more on the, like the medium rare side.
So do I.
That comes out amazing. So you get the best sear, like for a practical household device from an air fryer.
Ooh.
Yeah, because it'll seal up. If you put it on broil, it'll seal the outside of the steak really quickly. And by the time it cooks, I mean, like you bite into it and you'll hear crunch like a potato chip. And then the inside's still nice and juicy.
Oh, bro, you got me hyped.
Best steak you ever had in your life. So anytime I can go to a steakhouse anywhere and pay $200 for a steak, and I'm like, this is trash. Like I know what to do. I know what to do at home better than this cook knows what to do in his $200 steak kitchen.
Oh, dude, that's amazing. All right, I'm gonna try. We have an air fryer. I'm gonna try that tomorrow.
It's amazing. Yeah, you, about halfway through, flip it over. You might flip it twice on each side, just monitoring it as it's getting crusty on both sides. And then I never use any seasoning at all. No pepper, no salt, no nothing. And then whatever you choose to put on it after it cooked, then you can put whatever you want for flavoring. But yeah, that's been the magic sauce right there.
Oh, that's amazing. Are you available yet, Daniel?
Yeah, so this freaking car next to me is, I don't know if you can hear it. Can you hear it?
Barely.
Okay, if you guys can hear, I'm gonna continue. But so you've been doing this for 3 years. I didn't realize you were so young. I feel so. Me, I'm young, so I love seeing people younger than me kill it, because I started my first business when I was 25, and I'm like, I wish I would have started sooner, but it wasn't my time to when I started my first business. So I love seeing younger people kill it in the game, just because I want my kids and I want younger people to find somebody to look up to more in their age range. Not that Anthony's older or people that are older are bad. I just like showing. I want to provide an example and talk about people that are examples that are still in their mid-20s, mid-30s, killing it in the game, because I feel like it's their prime. And Anthony will say, I'm in my prime right now. I can hear him talking.
Bro, he hasn't even hit his prime yet. Bro, he's not even close to his prime yet. I mean, think about what Warren Buffett didn't make like $1 billion until he was 50 or something.
Yeah.
Like, dude, there's so much time. I mean, I hate Gary Vee saying have patience, because I think that's the worst advice ever for a young entrepreneur.
Exactly. I totally agree with that. But like, I think and this is the crazy part. Like Anthony, he's not in his prime yet, but like me and you, we're 10 years behind Anthony, and we're already doing big things. So when we hit our prime, it's gonna be something different.
Yeah.
And like we're all pushing to do better and create better versions of ourselves. And I love what you said earlier about podcasting, is you can see the journey, and that's what I wanted to provide. I wanted to provide the journey. It's like, hey, this is us when we started. This is how it's going, and here's the roadmap, because I laid it out for you, A to Z from.
Yeah, I think somebody said that they were watching this podcast, and they said that they knew about HiveMind, even almost when we first started, but they didn't get involved until recently in the last couple of months. Mm-hmm. And he's like, man, I feel like if I had been watching this podcast and sticking closer to the community,
that point on,
we would have learned.
So I love seeing and creating content, because they're really. Yeah.
Oh.
I heard Daniel come in and out quick, right?
Yeah, I heard it.
Yeah, we didn't hear you for a minute, and then all of a sudden you popped in.
So I think young entrepreneurs are inspirations to young people, because I think a lot of people in their 20s are lost, and I think people in their 30s are lost too. They don't exactly know what they're gonna do, and like some people, like you said, even like Colonel Sanders, KFC, he started the entrepreneurship when he was like 50. He started KFC when he was in his 50s. So I think people that know what they're doing and they know what they want to do at a young age, it really can produce a limitless possibility just because they have so much time to perfect and get wiser over time and make really big business and really make a difference in the world, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I don't even think it's like getting wiser. I'm really woo woo with this shit, dude. I'm like a Bob Proctor guy, like a Bob Proctor, Joe Dispenza. So I think a lot of it is like mastering upstairs.
Now you're speaking my language.
Like it's the first book that the guy I worked for, he told me to read is like, no, go read Think and Grow Rich. And that was like the first book I read that wasn't like finance based, like when I got started in this. And then I kept listening to that. And then Bob Proctor's You Were Born Rich on Audible is like my favorite book of all time. Even now, if I feel funky, I'll go listen to like chapter 13 and You Were Born Rich by Bob Proctor. And then Joe Dispenza is really good. Psycho-Cybernetics is really good. Because like all of going into, and I talked about this on my podcast today, of like just like the view of the self and like how you take in everything. Just the mind is so powerful, dude. Like I could talk about this for hours.
All right, now you're on my subject. Yeah, I was young. I was partying like myself half to death, cycling through lots of women, and I randomly in my mind I thought of the term "Think and Grow Rich." I didn't know where it came from. I felt like maybe it was a download. So I drove straight to a bookstore and I couldn't find the book, but I found the audio version. And I bought it that day, not even knowing exactly what the book was about. I didn't research it or anything. It's just like the book called out to me. And I think I listened to it, man, maybe 200 times. I mean, I just listened to it on repeat for years and years and years and years.
Oh, dude, like it's the only book you need. Like if you really want to take it down, if I only had to choose one book for the rest of my business life, it'd be Think and Grow Rich.
Yes, dude. And I think about that, like that's some stuff that in the book, like you can't teach, right? Like that burning desire and like definiteness of purpose. If you already don't have that, like, damn, that's the one thing that you can't give a person. But if they have it, it's over. Nothing can stand in their way.
Well, the definiteness of purpose, I think, is really powerful and something people sleep on. And like I won't wake up because I don't have my next day planned out for me to wake up with definiteness of purpose. Of like waking up to accomplish this. Like I'm here to do what? Right? Like, okay, you're here to do work. What type of work? Like just in that specific, really, really intense energy to get something done. Yeah, but that definiteness of purpose is so powerful.
Yeah, I think Daniel and even Coach Simmons, they're both like, they want to see the steps and they even like to build the steps and the processes. But my brain goes straight to the end result. So it's like almost like the systems and processes don't even matter because I'm already in my mind, I'm already at the end result. And so whatever happens in between that, it's like, I already know it's going to happen. I'm not worried about if the systems and processes are going to get us there or not. Like I'm already existing in the end. I'm already there. I'm my definition of purpose is it is the only solid reality that I'm paying attention to. And everything else in between doesn't really matter.
So you're the visionary, I'm guessing.
Yeah. And it drives some people nuts because they're like, well, what are the steps? And I'm like, damn it, why you want me to chew bubble gum? Like, I'm just trying to tell you what I'm going to be in 6 months. If you need me to build out the processes, I'll help you with that. But like, yeah, I'm not going to stop. I can't stop on the way where I'm going to see all that stuff, you know?
That goes into my leadership style. Cause like, that's just not me. I'm like, hey, our job is to paint the vision. Here's where we're going. Here's how you can reach every single goal you want to by working with us. All right. All I need you to do is make X. And then as I keep going, like, and you keep thinking like, okay, well, I'm here. So we probably need these things. And then everyone else goes and makes those things. And your job is just to make it rain. So everybody can catch rain with the buckets. Or your job is to make a really, really big revenue mess just by being you. And then everyone else kind of cleans up that. And that's the systems and processes.
Dude, I've never heard anybody use that phrase other than me. Yes, I just go forward, like just bringing in the revenue, and then everybody else around me is like sorting, putting it in buckets, figuring out where everything goes, and cleaning up the destruction I made.
100, bro.
I operate.
That's the way all visionaries that I know, right? You have a unique talent to drive revenue. Like at this point, like you can come up with really good ideas and you can do something and you can think now to, okay, well, you know what? Let's do this. Let's try this and drive revenue here. If it works, cool. If it doesn't, whatever. But like no one else is coming up with the revenue driving things that you are. And you're already there. You're like, okay, I see it. This is what we could do. All right, sweet. Just tell the team, go build it out. Like that's how I operate. To where I'm somewhat of I'm a weirdo to where I really just think. My job is to think and make decisions. Like that's all I do.
So
Yeah,
since you're talking about traction, I'm actually both. I can play both roles. So
That's nice.
Anthony's the visionary for Hive Mind, but I'm also my own visionary and my own integrator. So I'm both. And I think I never thought about that till I read the book, but I'm both. So I can play both roles whenever it comes to whatever situation I'm in. So I like what I do, but I also like supporting, and because and Anthony will tell you this, I'm a visionary too. We're both visionaries. Both of us. We're just visionaries in our own way, but I'm also an integrator too. So we're the perfect match.
Oh yeah, and I don't think of integrator as like a supportive role. I think nothing else could get done without the integrator or
Yeah.
the main visionary. Who the visionaries run around with their thumb up their ass, right? And like,
Mhm.
oh yeah, money, more ideas. Well, who the fuck's gonna execute these ideas?
So
Right.
check this out. I have a question for Anthony. Check this out. Anthony, how many people help you run your life?
Including you, about 7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's his wife runs the home, runs the home. His sister helps run his other businesses and work he's doing locally. And then I help run Hive Mind.
Yeah. And then my 4 team members run my real estate company, and I'm about to onboard another 4. But yeah, it takes about no less than 7 people to keep me alive and active.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, that way I stay in my lane, stay in my zone. Yeah.
I got an assistant. I wouldn't live without my assistant. Some days my assistant doesn't have to do shit, but when I need my assistant, they better be there. Right. So my assistant, our COO, my integrator partner, and then we have another COO in another company, and then obviously my girlfriend. Right. Like without all those pieces, like I don't know. I have no true skills that can help me run my own life.
I'll say it publicly. Yep. So my sister is my main it's administrative assistant. She has been full-time for about 5 years or maybe a little bit more, but she does everything. She's on all my bank accounts. She has my social security number. Like she literally does everything. She signs my DocuSigns. I mean, she runs my whole entire life. Like I can be in 2 places at once because I have her. And actually, we're going to Milwaukee to go speak at that conference over there with Tony Romero, Carlos Reyes, and them. And she's coming too. She's gonna come provide assistance remotely, like out of town. You know, she's bringing a friend of hers. They're gonna work the booth. So like literally, like 24/7, man. I got people kind of just making sure I don't fall over and kill myself.
That is what it is. It's
like
just
the bumpers and the bowling. I got bumpers all around me.
Hell yeah. Hell
yeah. Besides your $500 million goal, is that like over a lifetime or is that next 10 years?
I mean, ideally, yeah. Fuck, if I hit it big in crypto, 500 million. I don't know. Or we take one of our companies that big and get it to 500 million. One of the things I need to figure out the vehicle that can actually do it. I think lately I've been playing a little bit too small. Of like, okay, how are we going to take these companies and actually make it a portfolio that's worth $500 million? Right? Like, what are we going to do in real estate that's going to be worth $500 million? Like, what am I actually doing and thinking about and solving that problem? Instead of like, oh yeah, because I see a lot of people and they just like only want to make 6 figures and that's where the fuck you're going to stay. Right? Because like that's the only thing you're focused on. It's like, oh yeah, I want to focus on 6 figures. I'm thinking 500 million because I think to be a billionaire, I might have to be a psychopath. So I'm teetering, right? I'm like, do I want to go for that? Do I want to build a company like that? Do I want to leave my family that much? Like all those other limiting beliefs, right? But 500 million, I think I haven't put an exact timeline on it yet, but one of my friends with an e-com company, he started it last year. It became a $40 million company year 1 in rev, right? So, I mean, I know it's possible. I have another, like I said, I have another friend who's 28 and his company is worth $800 million. He makes $100 million a year. $100 million a year. So like if it's possible, not my biggest things like surrounding myself with like people like that, seeing the way they think, like, okay, what opportunities are actually in the marketplace for me to go and like solve, learn, apply my own business acumen to it, and then try and get there, obviously with great mentors and great teammates. But yeah.
So let's kind of go down that direction. How important is having a mentor?
Oh, bro, it's unmatched. If you think you can do it all on your own, you're crazy. I wouldn't have last year. I'd say was my biggest learning year, and we spent over $100,000 just on mentorship and coaching. And I need to spend more this year, just on getting different masterminds, different personal coaches, and like at this point, if I have a problem, I need to get a fucking coach for it because I don't want to go teach myself. Like I need to shortcut to the skill, get to it, implement it, and then keep on moving. Like having to go and learn a skill and then reteach it takes so long. To where if I would just go and I either hire that skill to be done, or I go and I pay someone at a high level for an hour to show me that skill, or show someone else in our company that skill, I will get significantly farther faster. And that goes for every single thing you could apply in business.
If you get Neuralink implanted, you could learn all those skills in an afternoon.
Right?
Have you been watching that?
Yeah, I'm stoked. I'm personally stoked about
That
Neuralink.
dude's crazy. It's like, oh, we just put an artificial intelligence bot in your head. Don't worry about it. We got you.
Right? We got you. But what were we talking about again, Daniel? I forgot.
You're talking mentorship, mentoring.
Oh yeah, bro. Mentorship, I think, is number one. And like, I love what you guys, what you do in Hive Mind with the community of mentorship. But I think most people in real estate, bro, you need a mentor. Like, just shortcut your way to skills, dude. It'll make your life so much easier. For me, I'm stupid. I can't go out and figure this shit out on my own. Like, I need people to show me what to do.
So me and Anthony, we like to war with many counselors.
Make war with many counselors. Yeah. So check this out. I got a good one. So the whole concept behind Hive Mind was we don't have to be the smartest guy in the room ever. Right. Mm-hmm. So one of my guys calls me today. We're negotiating a $10 million ranch by Houston. And he called me and says, I have an agent. Her client wants the property. He wants to know if he can put an airstrip there. So yeah. I just so happen to have a friend of mine who's developed 25,000 acres of ranches who owns airplanes. So I've hit him up on Messenger and I said, hey, how can I find out if this property can have an airstrip or not? So he sends me the everything I need to know about an airstrip. I copied and pasted it, send it right to my team member. Done. I didn't have to go do no research. I didn't have to call the county. I didn't have to do shit. I automatically know all the information because Hive Mind is more intelligent than me.
Right. Mm-hmm. Bro, I love that. And you can apply like the Henry Ford example. They like grill Henry Ford. Do you know this? Do you know this? Do you know this? No, I have a button there. I have a button there, and I have a button there that I can click, and the person can come tell me what to do. Everything else is irrelevant.
That's why the man was a genius. Not because of what he knew how to leverage the minds around him.
So what we say this a lot is the Hive Mind gets infinitely smarter because we get people come in daily. So if people come and contribute their knowledge, we don't have to learn it. We just leverage their information and knowledge, and we're getting infinitely smarter.
Yeah.
Attorneys, developers, mobile home park buyers, ground up apartment complex builders, commercial real estate and developers, that do business with Chili's and Chick-fil-A and Bank of America and all that stuff. So like, we're quickly connecting to the most powerful minds in the world, and it's happening at a very, very high rate now. So it's kind of exciting to watch and participate.
So I met with the guy today for an hour and a half, for 2 hours today. I'm out of town right now, but this is just one deal he did. He bought 1,200 acres in Southwest Georgia. It's a 200-acre lake that he built like 60, 70 homes around the lake, and it's a high-end community.
Damn,
that's so dope.
Gangster move,
right? Gangster.
So I was telling my partner who's driving me around right here in Atlanta. I was like, that's Anthony in 20 years buying 1,200 acres at a time.
Man, why in 20 years? We're looking
at that's what I was gonna say. Like, why 20 years, dude?
Negotiating 1,400 acres right now.
There you go. So, and this goes to the point that a lot of people think they. So here's one of the problems I have with a lot of people in the real estate space that talk a lot. They all do houses. And like me and Anthony, like you're trying to do $1 million deals here. Like if the same transaction process for a mobile home is the same with a little bit extra stuff for an apartment or storage, like why aren't you doing bigger deals?
That's what we're looking at, man. Like, so we closed on our first $1 million ranch last year, and we're looking to close on the second one already. So it's like, how long would it take you to make 500,000 profit by flipping houses? You know, it's gonna be a few houses, either time invested, remodeling, or wholesaling, whatever your strategy is. That's a lot of moves. But if we can start to get us up to that, around that 100 to 500,000, I mean, to $1 million mark per deal, I don't think it's going to take that long if you try to deconstruct it, right? So even if we just did some simple, quick math, $500 million divided by, let's say, I don't know, $500,000 deals. It's only 1,000 deals.
And think about all those fucking gurus who post, "Oh, I've done 1,000 deals."
Mm-hmm.
Think about all that shit.
$3,500, $8,000. I'll skip all that shit.
So check this
Right?
out.
Like, I'm not a big fan of it.
So the guy I met with today, he actually develops grocery stores. He owns. I asked him if he owned any houses. He's like, no, I just own commercial property and office. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
And he said when I talked to him last time, he said he helped build a grocery store in Florida. They send him a $50,000 check monthly. That's his triple net lease check.
Oh,
he gets
dude.
monthly.
Triple net and land contracts are powerful. Like, if you can do, I have a friend who built a place for someone. The place reneged. He sued them for $4 million, got the $4 million, and that was a grocery store. A hospital decided to move in. They paid him and his contracting company another $4 million to renovate it and turn it into whatever he wanted as far as like the hospital stuff. And then now the hospital pays him $50,000 a month. So he made money on the front, in the middle, on the front, in the middle, and then now he's still making money from this hospital paying him money. And this is from a triple net. Like the bigger, I think the single family house stuff is cool. I don't want to shit on anybody, but my friends who really enjoy real estate are doing like some crazy stuff in real estate to where like, oh wow, like you're creating some real income here, like real income. This isn't, and I'm not trying to be shitty. They're not making 6 figures a year. Like, they're making significantly more than that, and they're getting a lot more cash flow wise off of doing these commercial deals, development deals, whatever it is.
Yeah, we picked up a commercial mentor, and I love houses too. I mean, I grab them every chance I get. I got some sub 2 houses, but we have a commercial mentor. She's teaching us how to do $1 million per deal on commercial. So again, it's like, what are you going to invest your time into? If I did 30 houses this year, or I could do 10 commercial deals, I mean, it's just disproportionately more money if you just put your attention somewhere else. So my idea is keep your eye on everything, all the while keeping your eye on the bigger picture, on bigger fish. Just so that if you can even pop 1 or 2 big deals a year, and then everything else is small, fantastic. But I just try to caution people to stay away from doing only a bunch of small deals all year long, year after year, because it's going to be a tough climb.
Well, and like, what vehicle are you operating in? Is it going to take you where you want to go and as fast as you want to get there?
Mm-hmm.
Like, sometimes you just have to analyze that.
This goes back to the mentoring thing too. You find a mentor in what you want to do.
Exactly. But like, that mentor showing you this, and like, really for me, my mentors showed me what was even possible, right? To where like beforehand, I was never thinking of like, oh, I want to make $500 million, or I can make $1 million per commercial deal. Then your mentor's like, no, this is what we do, and this is what you're going to do. And so now you move into a new standard. Like, this is our thermostat now. Like, this is all we do. And then you have that skill and it never goes away. And so now the skill that you prioritized over the other skill is infinitely better. And the time to get there was like this, as to compared to, like we said, 3,000 homes. Yeah, cool. And like, I'm not shitting on you and the skill you developed, but is that skill the best skill? And is that what your time is best served?
Yeah, I think we just live in a world of information where you can kind of collapse time, right? So you give me your 30-year plan to acquire 3,000 houses, you're going to die a multimillionaire, probably a decamillionaire in 30 years. But if we can figure out a strategy where you can make, similar money in 5 years, I just want to take a look at what does that strategy look like? And I remember when I first started in real estate, this is the beginning of my 4th year, the very beginning. So I just completed 3 years. And I remember when I first started researching real estate, I would hear people say like, oh, I know this guy, or I know this team, that they won't look at anything unless it's 100,000 profit. And in my mind, I was like, damn, they won't even look if it's under 100. And now after 3 years of doing what I've done, which is nothing, I'm not going to write a book or nothing, but 100,000, I'm like, yeah, that sounds about right. I don't want to really look at anything that's like sub 50. So I can I'm in 3 short years, I've seen like that 100 per deal is not that amazing anymore when you're looking forward at 1 million per deal. So it's just kind of like turning up your financial thermostat by getting yourself around the people that are doing it. And even though we're not doing it yet, it's like you said, like you kind of like start to like mold and shape yourself around that mentor's belief system is where she's
Exactly.
I'm looking at 1 million per deal. We showed her something that's 100. Nope. We have a buyer in Houston. He'll buy multi-million-dollar ranches, one a month. And he said, if it's anything below like 1 million, he's just not interested. So I'm like, damn, all right, just get yourself around people that are doing those numbers and see what happens.
Right. And all it is just a new way you think. All it is, now I think of myself as $1 million investor.
Mm-hmm.
Stratton Brown only buys $1 million deals.
Boom.
And now you hold it that way, and then like, wow, now you operate as that guy.
That's the episode title. Stratton Brown only buys $1 million investments.
It's a good title.
It's a good title. Yeah, I love this mindset stuff and everything else. You guys are so needed. Whenever anybody talks about land, I just send them to you guys. Because like, hey, do you know anything? I was like, no, bro, just go to fucking Hive Mind. I know they have a community they'll help you out and answer all your questions. But I don't know. Like I have my own mentees, and I'm like, nah, bro, just go over to Hive Mind. They'll help you dispo it or whatever. Because no one else really at a high level has shown you how to do it. And in all reality, all the big boys make money off of land, not houses.
Yeah.
You don't say.
I know when somebody pitches me like, hey, I got this multifamily, like I have a couple people I can refer them out to, but I don't feel strong in multifamily. Like I just send them wherever they got to go.
Right.
But if somebody calls me and they're like, hey, I know, just today, hey, I know where there's 80 acres over here. Right. And I'm like, yep, ding, all my bells start going off when it's 100 acres, 200 acres. Like I have a bunch of strategies. My brain starts thinking of all the strategies before I even see the deal. But if you send me, hey, I got a 16 unit in Waco, like, I don't know what to do with that shit. I can call around and try to help, but I have no strategy there. Yeah. So it's just, I guess, staying in your lane and getting around the mentors that you want to be like and do deals like they're doing. So yeah, man, we appreciate you coming on here. Where can people find you online, man? And tell us a little bit about, you want to talk about your mentorship program you're rolling out? This episode might come out a little late after you've already launched it, but you're going to have like a mastermind community.
Yeah. I mean, so the mastermind will just be a one-time event.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that'll be a one-time event on January 28th and 29th, to where I love events, and the way I set this one up, I love going to events and talking to the speakers and like paying VIP so I can beat them, right? So like, okay, how can I get like 9 or 10 of like my really, really close friends who are 7 to 8 figure entrepreneurs to come to speak at an event and keep the event to like 10 to 20 people and have one-on-one access to all these speakers for 2 days straight. That's what I wanted to create, right? So now you have access to see the way they think and how we talk, like just buy into their belief and everything else, how they build it, how they do it. You can sit there and fucking bug them for the next 2 days. They ain't going anywhere, dude. Ask them all the questions you need. So that's why I set that one up. And then our other companies, callmagicians.com. If you're looking for any type of virtual assistant in your real estate company, or really any company, we handle a lot. And then Clockwork Media. And then if you're looking for real estate mentorship that Hive Mind doesn't cover, you can send me a DM.
So I always ask this question because I like it. What is a quote that you either resonate is yours or somebody else's that you like, that you resonate with?
I do what I want.
Boom. and as you should, you should do what you want. So I think I wanted to hear, man. That was dope. That was dope. Dope conversation.
I'm too young to remember this one, but it's Project Pat from one of his albums. It's just like the way the song starts out. It's like, men do what they want, boys do what they can. Yeah.
So, man, this is a great episode, man. I loved it. I think there's a lot of stuff in here, man. Thanks for coming on. We appreciate your time, and catch you next time.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, guys.